As we told you at the top of the show, a very historic move made in the case against the Tom's shooter. The DOJ announced today they are seeking the death penalty.
Garnell Whitfield, the son of Ruth Whitfield, was at the courthouse when the announcement was made. He joins us now. Garnell, thank you so much for being here. A difficult day, to say the least. I just want to ask you, how are you? Where is your heart right now?
My heart is with my family, with those other persons that were there in the room with us today.
With respect to the obvious confidentiality that we respect, are you able to take us in the room this morning to give us a sense of what that was like as DOJ attorneys or as your own attorneys or whomever made the announcement? Again, with respect to confidentiality.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, for me, it was kind of anticlimactic. We've been waiting a very long time for a decision in this case, and so for that moment to have arrived seemed surreal. But as they talked about the specifics of the case, obviously we were pulled in emotionally. So it was an emotional time, I think, for everybody in the room.
When you were saying, you've been awaiting this, when you were summoned, when you found out that you were to come to the courtroom, what was kind of going through your mind then in preparation for it?
I mean, in my heart of hearts, I knew what this was about. I knew that they had reached a decision and they were going to share that with us today. So I was just trying to prepare for that and wondering how that would feel when we actually heard what the decision would be. I always thought that this would be the decision that would be that he would come to, just based on past history, what they did in the Pittsburgh Tree of Life shooting and different things like that. So I thought that that would be the decision that he would come to. But to hear it is another thing altogether.
And I take us through that knowing, feeling it in your heart that this would be the decision, perhaps feeling it all along, and then having it be confirmed for you. Was that? Did it settle? Did it offer closure? Did it offer any solace?
No, because for me, it's not about him. It's never been really about him. He is incarcerated. He'll either spend the rest of his life in prison, or he will be put to death. Either way, he's not out and he can't hurt anybody else. And so for me, I'm much more concerned about those things that are yet out here that might have been a part of his radicalization, those things that are still being used by people to propagate hate within our community against our people. And so that's been my focus all along. What came of this today for me, the biggest thing is that because there is going to be a trial, all of the evidence that the federal government has collected now will see the light of day. And for me, that's very important, because had he pled guilty, that evidence might have been put on a shelf somewhere. We might not have ever known the details of that. So I'm thankful for that.
When it comes to your family and the other families that were struck by this tragedy, you told Dave and me in the past that, when one of you speaks, like you are now, you speak for everyone, that you are a family now. What has having each other to lean on, especially on a day like today, when it feels heavier, what has that meant to you?
Well, I mean, over time, it's been 20 months now. And so, over time, what we have come to know is that collective grief that we might have shared in the immediacy of that, now we find we're all individuals. We all had different relationships with our loved ones. We all have different opinions about things. So we're not a homogeneous, group. We all have, we're all adults. We all feel differently about different things, and we've kind of now, with the passing of time, we found out that, we are not all, necessarily seeing things the same way, and we have to be respectful of that and share it. So when I say I speak for all, I try to be inclusive and try to be considerate of that. But the truth of the matter is that, even my own siblings, they all have their own views and their own thoughts about these things. I just want to be respectful of those.
And I think it's a great point, and I would love to kind of expand on that, because we talk about the importance of diversity, and so often we look at it as sort of skin deep, or the things that we see in terms of appearances. But what we have experienced today is a great diversity of thought.
Absolutely.
There are people who support this decision. There are people who are indifferent. There are people who stand solidly against that. But that commonality that you share, that awful, terrible commonality, has to help that support, despite the fact that people may feel differently.
Right. And so you learn to respect other people's opinions. At the end of the day, we all went through the same thing, the same incident. We all are hurting. And it's not even just the 10 of us or the 13 of us, it's the entire community. You might even extrapolate out and say it's the entire world. These communities all over this country, all over this world that are experiencing these kinds of crimes. And we bleed with them, we feel for them, and we are thankful for their support also.
You mentioned before the trial to come, the evidence, what do you hope? You've always sought change, right? Mm-hmm. Conversation, education. What do you hope comes from the trial?
Well, first of all, that my mother, our loved ones' deaths were not in vain, and that change does come from. So we heard today from some in the room that some of the tactics and strategies that they use, the FBI and others use, have changed significantly since 5/14. They're much more proactive in trying to prevent these incidences from happening, so they've assigned resources to that. And so that's a change that's emanated from that. That's already happened. We got the Bipartisan Safety Communities Act passed. We got a lot of things have happened. The gun violence, Office of Gun Violence Prevention out of the White House, that's been formed. There's been a lot of things that have happened along the way. But I continue to believe that at the root of all of these things is white supremacy and white nationalism. And so that's the work that I'm kind of focused on.
And we appreciate that work. Garnell Whitfield is the former Buffalo Fire Commissioner, but more importantly, he is the son of Ruth Whitfield, one of the 10 people gunned down in the awful Tops mass shooting. Garnell, it is always meaningful and emotional when you come on, and we know that today has been a difficult day for you and the other families, so we greatly appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
God bless you.